Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the premiere episode of On the Right Track, presented exclusively by Spherion Mid-Ohio. My name is Hayden Gray, and I'll be your host over the next 6 weeks as we take a look at what's happening around the track and field scene in our local area. First, I'd like to thank Spherion Mid-Ohio's staffing and recruiting specialists servicing 9 counties throughout Mid-Ohio. They offer professional jobs for amateur sports fans and everyone in between. Visit the link below to see jobs they are currently hiring for, learn about the perks of using a staffing agency, or to fill your current staffing needs. Let's kick off tonight's episode by flashing back to this past Friday's Forest Pruner Track Invitational hosted by Crestview High School. 11 local teams competed around the area representing 5 different counties. Competing teams included Ashland, Crestview, Lucas, Centerburg, Hillsdale, St. Peters, South Central, Mapleton, New London, Plymouth, and Mansfield Christian. These teams represented the OCC, Firelands, MBC, KMAC, and WCAL conferences. So a few people who really stood out at this meet. For South Central, Angela Williams, she took first in the 100 meter and 200 meter dash, along with being second in the 400 meter and third in long jump. So it was safe to say Angela had quite the performance last week. From Lucas, Shelby Grover took first in the 100 and 300 meter hurdles and first in long jump, so 3 first place finishes for one of the most impressive athletes in our area. Other notable news from the girls' side, Ashland swept the 4x1, 4x2, and 4x8 meter relays, along with Evelyn Wilhelm, who took first in shot put and second in discus. Some notable performances from the boys' side, Crestview's Addison Raymer, a household name here on the OH Report, took third in the 100 meter, first in the 200 meter, third in the high jump, and first in the mixed 4x4 meter relay team that he was a part of. Ashland's Braden Martin and Jaden Goings also placed first and second in both the 110, with Martin finishing first and Goings in second, as well as in the 300 meter hurdles, this time with Goings finishing first and Martin in second. Also for Crestview, Noah Stewart placed first in shot put and discus by a landslide. So Noah Stewart doing great things at his home meet there for Crestview. The overall winner for the meet was an Ashland Arrow sweep. They won both the boys and the girls. So the Forest Pruner Invitational, the 35th year it was hosted at Crestview High School, and a lot of our local athletes really showed out and put up some incredible numbers. Well, impressive performances are no stranger to the athletes in our next segment called Making Strides. In this segment, we'll spotlight the top 10 viewer-submitted personal records from their season thus far, with an opportunity for you, the fans, to vote on which you were most impressed by. So without further ado, here are your top 10 personal records submitted by viewers from the past week. Our first nominee is a senior from Cary High School who plans to jump for the University of Toledo next year, Miss Lexi Plott. She set a new PR in the high jump of 5 foot 7 inches and a fourth, which ties the school record over at Cary. Nominee number 2 is a sophomore from Shelby. Ava Bowman has set a PR in the 100 meter and 200 meter. In the 100 meter, she set a new school record of 12:52, and in 200 meter, she is now the 3rd in school history at Shelby with a time of 26:11. Our third nominee is Braden Carr out of Loudonville. The freshman set a new PR in pole vault of 13 foot 7 inches. His previous was 13 foot, so he sets a new school record for the Redbirds, Braden Carr. Our fourth submission is Lana Garrick, a sophomore out of Crestview who has set a new school record in the 2 mile. Her former time, 12 minutes and 19 seconds, and Lana absolutely crushed it with her new time of 11 minutes 50 seconds, .14. Our fifth and final nominee for this week's top PRs comes from Mount Gilead, where sophomore Will Baker has PR'd in the mile, 2 mile, and 5K this year. His mile time is now 4:24, his 2 mile 9:29, and he holds the school record in the 5K at 15 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, I was absolutely astonished by the amount of you that submitted different personal records over the course of the last week. So while only the top 5 are being voted upon, I still want to give a great shout out to everyone else, starting with Sydney Smith from Bexley, Connor Radoshik, sorry if I butchered your name, Connor, out of Northmore, Brant Leidig out of Crestview, Kenyatta Jolly out of Worcester, Austin Wallace from Willard, Abigail Wallace from Willard, Brandon Hogg from Fredericktown, Devin Marsh from Shelby, Zach Tackett out of Riverdale, Mansfield Senior's Aaron Thornton, Ethan Warren from Riverdale, Riverdale's Andrew Woodruff, Chloe Stewart is an 8th grader from Clear Fork who holds the school record in shot put, Allison Woodruff, a sophomore from Riverdale, and finally, rounding off our honorable mention is Davis Hoflick, which leads the nation in 8th grade. Yes, I said leads the nation in high jump with a jump of 6 foot 2.5 inches. So, you know, we have some middle schoolers on this list, but if you're doing that kind of stuff in middle school, I'm gonna give you the credit you deserve and give you some love here on the show because it's just simply incredible. And you know what? It's my show, so I'm gonna do it. But those are your top viewer-submitted PRs and honorable mentions from the past week. We're gonna take a short commercial break. When we come back, I had a chance to sit down with Clear Fork sensation Joe Stupka. You can hear about our conversation coming up next after a short word from our show sponsor, Spherion Mid-Ohio.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Well, welcome back to the premiere episode of On the Right Track, presented exclusively by our show sponsor, Spherion Mid-Ohio. We're very fortunate throughout our area to have a lot of strong athletes who excel not only at the sport they compete in, but make an impact as a leader on their team as well. I had a chance to go down to Belleville yesterday and chat with Clear Fork Junior Joe Stupka, who's having a sensational year, about what it takes to not only grow and excel in the sport, but what it means to be a leader on his team as well. Here's a look at how our conversation went down at Clear Fork High School. All right, well, we're here with Joe Stupka, Jr. here at Clear Fork High School. Joe, first I'll just talk to you a little bit about the start of your year. The Madison Invite, one of the earlier invitationals in the year, and I know that was a meet that had a little bit more meaning to you. You had a great performance on a track you're very familiar with, recently transferred to Clear Fork this year. Talk to me a little bit about that meet and how that experience was for you.
For sure. So I came in, had that one circled on the calendar for about a year. I knew as soon as I came here, we come to that meet, and I had a little stuff to prove. It's come from a school like that that's historically pretty good in track and field, and here we're kind of on the rise now with Coach Beck coming in. I just felt like I had something to prove. I went out there and we set that goal like week before the meet was we wanted all 3 of those meet records. We looked at them. We saw them, and I knew I could get all 3 of them. And after the 100, I felt really good, and I was like, I know I'm going to get the rest of these. And it was, seeing all the old coaches and the old teammates. They're all rooting for you. Most of them are. So it was definitely a good feeling.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, not only the record setting, but you've been taking down some heavy hitters that have been, familiar opponents for you still here around the area at some of our other local schools. So how, for you, do you feel your progression has been from your sophomore season to here in your junior season? Because, I mean, I've got to say you're probably one of the most popular names in the track and field scene right now with what you're doing. So how do you feel you've grown since last year?
I've gotten way more knowledge of how the sport is. Better workouts, better training, more focused. I'm more focused, taking every rep like it's the state championship, especially in practice. It's like you can't ever slack in practice. Running indoor really helped. It got me face top level competition every weekend. And another thing is just like viewing competition as an opportunity instead of like being scared of it. I see the big name guys I was racing at Meadhawk and Madison, and I was like, bring it on. Like, I want to go out and prove myself, prove that I can, like, not only run fast times, but also compete against the big-time names, and I want to be a big-time name myself.
Absolutely, and you kind of alluded to it. Track's one of those sports where it's a team sport, but so much of the pressure you kind of face as an individual. So here at a day like practice, who are some of the guys or girls that are pushing you and you're kind of working with? I saw you down there earlier today, one of your teammates helping you with your starting block and then reviewing it with them. Who are some of those guys at practice that like to push each other to get better every day?
Ethan Beck is the first name that comes to mind. He was out here. Yeah, he was the guy filming my starts. He does that every day. Then he was out here like our week before indoor state training with me, so I wasn't running by myself. Aiden Herring's another one. Those guys are 2 freshmen that they want to get better, and they're going to be very special. And I always tell them, like, they're faster than I was as freshmen. So it's, stay focused. They're always out here pushing me in workouts, competitiveness, all that. And they're good guys. They take it seriously. They're going to be special.
Yeah, you can tell that the chemistry's here and that this is a fun group. I know they're giving me a little flack today with me being out here, but you can tell Coach runs a really good practice, and we talked about it. It's not easy to not only be the head coach for the guys, but be the head coach for the girls too, and do everything as you said it. So what's your relationship like with Coach Beck, and how has he helped you this year?
Oh, he's helped me tremendously. Like we said, first day we came in, it was mutual respect both ways. It was like we trust each other. I trust his training, trust his programming, and we get the job done. And the program works for everybody. Like, it's not just special. There's no secret sauce to it. We love running fast, and that's what we do every day. We have a great relationship. I can text him about anything, not even track, like everything related. Very good role model. Like, he was a great track athlete himself, so he knows what everyone goes through. Very smart, just puts us in the best position to win every time. Like I said, we were saying over there, my success is a two-way street because I wouldn't be here without him. So he's helped me a lot for sure.
Absolutely, and like you said, it's so important to have one of those kind of coaches that can be a mentor for your sport, but also someone to look up to, someone as a role model. So, from the conversation you and I have been having, wanting to be one of those names that people remember and that are standing out in this sport, I think it's safe to say that young runners are going to look up to you too and what you're doing. So what kind of recommendations do you have too to anyone aspiring to just get better? Because it isn't easy, even if you have people to push you. This is a sport where, it's down to the millisecond and it can take a lot of hard work. What kind of recommendations do you have or words of encouragement would you give to someone looking to kind of, try and make those steps, take that climb?
My biggest thing is patience. You got to be patient. I ran, I think, like a 12.3 my freshman year. I thought about not running sophomore year. But yeah, I know.
Look where we're at now, yeah.
Coach Saris at Madison, he was definitely, and he got on me. That was the thing. He got on me, and I think part of me, I think he knew like what I could become, and I was kind of holding myself back at first. And I had those guys at Madison like Phil and Isaac. You always have those guys that just they're on me every day about practicing right, warm-ups, and we had a lot of fun at Madison. Great 4x2 relay my sophomore year, and it's just you gotta also remember it's fun. You can't ever take the fun out of it, because the reason I started was to get faster and keep getting faster, and as you get faster, it gets a lot more pressure on you, but when that pressure builds up, you gotta remember why you started. It's just have fun, you gotta enjoy it. You only have 4 years of this.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you letting us take a few minutes of your time today. Beautiful day down here in Belleville today. You've got the Fredericktown Invitational coming up this weekend, so we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. I know Spherion, our partner for the show, was out here earlier. They congratulated you, and I know that everyone there and at the OH Report wishes you the best of luck this year. We're going to be keeping a close eye, so keep doing great things, man, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks, man. Well, it was great to catch up with Joe, and lucky for you, you can catch him in action this Friday at the Fredericktown Invitational. So mark your calendars, get set, and go. Go watch some track and field here. Here's what you need to know about this Friday's Fredericktown Invite. It's located, obviously, at Fredericktown High School. It's going to be taking place this Friday, April 28th. Field events start at 4:30 p.m. and running events kick off at 6 p.m. 14 different teams competing from all around our area: Clear Fork, Columbus Academy, Delaware Christian, East Knox, Fredericktown, Gilead Christian, Highland, Mansfield Christian, Mount Vernon, Newark Catholic, Oakstone Academy, Philo, St. Peter's, and Utica. So there's going to be plenty of teams out there from around our area and the Columbus area too. A lot of big names, including Joe Stupka and those Clear Fork Colts. So that will wrap up our first episode of On the Right Track, brought to you exclusively by Spherion Mid-Ohio. Be sure to check them out at the link that you see below and in the description of this video. We sincerely appreciate their support of local high school athletics. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you next week on our next episode of On the Right Track.